Let's talk about how you guys find investors and how you found your company.
Okay. Before we talk about investors, talk about what an investor meeting means.
Yeah. So, I lead all of our fundraising stuff, mostly because I don't trust Husain to stay on top of emails.
Superhuman can't
I
help
trust
you if you
the
don't
meeting.
open it.
When the stress is immediate, Husain is engaged. But like, no.
facts.
In terms of the fundraising strategy, based on my last startup, I learned a lot and I embarrassed myself repeatedly in front of so many investors that it's actually like sad and crazy. And so basically it's actually funny because one of the first calls that Hussein and I ever got on that was worth anything, and realistically now in comparison to some of the conversations we've had, is peanuts.
Those
right?
were the days.
Those were the days. But the thing is that like some of those early conversations we had, Hussein was so stressed. He was sweating bullets. And I said to him, what did I say to you? It like
We're building a product. I think it's something along the lines of we're building a product. We're not building for investors.
yeah,
Something like that.
building for customers. We're not
Yeah,
building
yeah,
for
yeah.
it. I've said that before, but I think I remember specifically being like, once you do this a couple of times,
That's also true. Yeah.
like once you do this a couple of times, you just like won't care anymore.
It doesn't mean anything. Investors are
Like they can own the best advice that investors can provide is advice on how to talk to investors, which is good advice, but like once you've heard it, then you've heard it, so it's like why,
yeah.
So the reality is that what I always say is that a startup in this early stage, we talk about it as like a block of ice or a cube of ice in a cold room, right? And you start seeing success when the ice melts, right? And so I somewhat stole this from Atomic Habits, not gonna lie. I lifted a little bit, but once I applied it to the situation of fundraising, right? So the whole idea is the fact that the temperature in the room is slowly getting hotter. The more that you work, the closer that you get. You're going from 0 degrees, 1, 2, 3. You're moving up, and it's slowly getting warmer. But you don't see any action in the ice, right? The ice is still solid, right? All of the action is going to happen at 32 degrees. All of that pent-up energy is going to finally convert, and it's going to turn into a liquid, and you're going to start seeing success. And so what's really, I think, the main value of talking to investors early on, there's two things. First is the concepts of lines, not dots. That's not necessarily the most insightful thing in the world. It's just the fact that, think about it, if you were an investor and you had somebody coming to you asking for several $1,000,000, especially a 22-year-old and a 19-year-old, you're going to be like, damn, at least let me get to know you for 3 months, At least let me get to know you for 6 months more accurately. Right? So it's a fair idea to once you have a team built in some capacity to reach out and make first contact.
What we did is that as soon as we really got our team building settled, in the first week of January, we literally
Don't start there, because that's not where it started. That's not where first contact started. I wouldn't take a trip like that if you.
That's so true.
So the reality is, I've handled the fundraising strategy.
Mm-hmm.
The point, you set points along a graph, right? And those connect into a line, right? And your line wants to show upward growth, and it wants to show consistency, not whoa, right? So in a bit of a way, life is this, right? But they're looking for trends. The good investors aren't going to care if they see the trends and they have a good enough contact points. Obviously, present the story well, pitch yourself well, right? But don't necessarily be professional. Like, a good investor also will just take you for who you are, right? Because they're investing in the people. So just literally be yourself. So all of that is just kind of like unorganized thoughts, but the whole idea is that in terms of the ice analogy, I would say that all of that action and the value that you need to take out of every investor meeting is not, oh, here's a milestone that we're going to develop to, right? you don't do your product milestones on the basis of an investor meeting because they're a thermometer, not a thermostat, right?
Boom.
Boom. Boom. But the thing is that like, why would I build a product just to show an investor? Your incentive, your mindset is clearly broken at that point, right? You're building the product for customers, and the investor meetings will happen whenever they fit you into their schedule or whatever. It doesn't really matter, right? The thing is that it's helpful because of lines, not dots, right? You're not going to give millions of dollars to somebody that you just met unless it's 2020, 2021 and you say the word crypto. But we're out of that. We're out of that now. We're very much out of that. So like, don't be trying to shill that bull crap anymore.
Could shill generative AI.
Well, the thing is that generative AI and crypto, this is hilarious to me, is the fact that I read a Forbes article where like they were literally like writing the 10 reasons why like generative AI is not just another crypto bubble. And I'm like, you have to explain that? Like you have to actually like, who needs that explained to them? Right? Because it's like, I here's an interesting metric that I came up with the other day. I haven't even told you this yet. I was talking to Chuck about this. So the whole idea for me is if it was in a sci-fi movie, it's got long-term growth potential.
Like wormholes?
like actually, because like, did anyone in the 80s make a sci-fi movie about fucking crypto or NFTs? No, it doesn't inspire people. It's fucking dumb. Like, it's always dumb. And the thing is that the only reason why this shit succeeds is because people who live in Silicon Valley live in this bubble where they don't know what it's fucking like to be in the Midwest. Which brings us back to the fact of how Michigan is doing a disservice to its entrepreneurial ecosystem by not giving them the same resources that a Stanford would. Right? So the reality is that people in Stanford have every resource at their fingertips, but they're living in this weird bubble where like they're solving problems for like, you know, San Francisco, California.
Fellow friends.
Right? Like, and the thing is that people like that, I'm pretty sure have never like been, maybe have been, but it's rare. They're at least not thinking about it. Like, what the fuck is like most people's lives like? Like, actually.
Like if only
have you ever driven down a road in the Midwest?
A good example of that is the idea that literally what we're building at Canopay is the ability to give people, say like you have like a guy in his mid-30s, right? All he wants to do is like take his kids to Disney or like take his family back home to India once a year. And that gets so expensive. People go to India once every 4 years because flights are like $1,500 per person round trip. You know, it's really, really expensive. PTO, trying to plan all that stuff, right? And what we're doing is literally bringing, and we said this at the beginning, towards the beginning of this, that we are bringing the gift, like the gift of travel is cliche, right? But we're literally trying to bring the gift of travel to more people.
It's about accessibility.
Accessibility.
Right? And the thing is that there's two factors to accessibility, right? So like you mentioned briefly, it's not just the actual financial cost, it's the actual logistical burden, right? So when you combine free with I'm going to take away the logistical burden and allow you to have a travel agent and your fingertips, right?
You're actually helping people.
Yeah. And the thing is that doesn't just help people living in San Mateo.
It can help me as a heavy hitter.
Like, yeah.
Helps me as a heavy hitter. Helps David as a college student wanting to go home. It helps a 40-year-old take his family to Disney. I mean, it helps everyone.
Mm-hmm. So
We got off track, sorry.
Assuming there's no
No, you're
pandemic that derails
Yeah.
all travel.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess that we can always
What people
we can
did in
always
the
have that again.
pandemic is that a lot of people cashed
Award
out
travel
their
was
points.
crazy.
They cashed out their points for cash.
Yeah.
A lot of people.
So I mean, that's the other thing is the fact that like we're just super excited because a lot of points optimization can happen on the corporate side. So God, like allow
Free
us.
vacations is a Canopay benefit from day one.
Yeah, it's literally can guarantee that easily. So
yeah, well, I want to congratulate you guys on your soft launch happening
you.
soon.
Yeah. Thank you.
What's your next step with that? And Where are you guys going?
So
Tonight.
tonight, I'm not sure it'll be published in time, but we're going to this travel expo in Atlanta.
We fly out tonight.
Fly out tonight at 9 p.m.
Saturday
Matt's already
the 25th.
at the airport.
Yeah.
Cooper's coming tomorrow night because he has
Yes.
an exam.
Yeah.
And that travel expo, the idea there is that you have like Rick Steves, right? And the like selling you these $10,000 all-inclusives in the Bahamas. And we're out there with a booth telling people for $200 a year, we can do what these guys do 10 times better and get you free vacations.
So we're gonna in the onboarding flow, and there's gonna be an experience for people to try out Captain, where they are asked to ask for a day trip itinerary to any city that they want to travel to. These are all people going to a travel expo. They love travel. I mean, I
Even
love
I
travel.
don't go to travel expos.
Yeah, I love travel, and I have not yet been to a travel expo.
That's your whole target audience right there.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And so one of the first experiences someone is going to have in the platform, and I'm so excited to see how people react, is Captain asking somebody to ask him for a day trip itinerary. And as of right now, we're probably going to send that to somebody's email, right? The email that they have connected to their account. But our plan is to essentially have all of your itineraries stored to your travel goals, right? So everything all in one place for your travel itinerary, whether that be your flights, your hotels, your rental cars, your excursions, your budget for your points budget for your flight and your hotel. You also have your budget for restaurants and dining and experiences. We're managing your finances and your travel in one place, so we actually are making it convenient and fun. That's the idea. And
Beyond that, our metric is 500 paying users.
Yeah.
That is our metric. That's what we're trying to hit.
Yeah.
That sort of puts it as a cusp to raise a seed round, which is sort of our
Yeah.
our goal that we're trying to raise over the next few months.
We've gotten a lot of interest, and generally speaking, I don't blame investors one bit, because I would be in the exact same boat. I want to see this. I want to see people pay for this, right? I want to see this actually make money, and if you can do that, then goddamn, how can I say no? Is basically.
Have you found any investors or talking to any?
We're
We're
talking
with investors,
with
but no term sheets locked down.
Yeah, and frankly, I think that there's been a couple of people that we talked to
Really
who
cool people.
really, not only that, yeah, of course, there's I would say, I'm not going to put a number on it, I would say 20 people specifically in my mind right now that pass the metric of really cool.
Yeah.
Right.
So
but
you've talked to 20 investors already.
more.
More.
That's
We've
who
sent
passed
over,
the bar.
How many emails have we sent? 10?
1,000.
About 1,000 to 2,000 emails we've sent
Yeah.
out in total.
Wow.
Yeah.
Manual, like it's literally manual
me.
raw work. Superhuman
There's
snippets.
no superhuman snippets, man. Superhuman snippets and Tiny Task, man.
I showed you Tiny Task.
Tiny Task was a good addition. You can't lose track of it though and accidentally send. You got to watch it.
And you get like Fanatics gift cards.
Wait, so how many people got back to you after you sent the emails?
I should have probably calculated a percentage. I would say 5 to 10.
5 to 10%.
5 to 10.
That's pretty good for
Very
investor
good.
cold outreach.
I would say
Everything
so.
is cold. Every email's been a cold email.
Yeah, I mean,
We
as
sent-
students,
yeah.
what other choice do you have,
The thing is, I would say
right?
leverage the .umich,
The EMI.
the umich.edu.
Yeah.
Umich.edu, you have to leverage that.
It catches somebody's eye better than somebody else. But it comes with the stipulation is that everyone talks as if it's nothing but a help. But the reality is that there's a glass ceiling on student entrepreneurship fundraising. So the whole idea is the fact that there is this glass ceiling where you have to get them to treat you seriously. Because the thing is that a lot of people will pay attention because they'll be like a startup working on a cool idea that's a student,
Yeah,
right?
here.
And then you're like that they're excited, right? And then they start to realize that you're serious and that you actually want to do this, and like
Then they get sus.
then they're like, all right, let me
It
actually
drops.
What is actually happening here?
Let me actually like give you questions that I would give to
a regular
a
dude.
regular startup.
So let's
that
get
came to
real.
me.
Let's cut the bullshit and let's get real over here, right? So
Right.
we start here, now we're here.
So you start like
You start like, oh, you're a student, nice to meet you, give you some advice. Then you're like, oh, these guys are for real.
it goes
Okay,
down.
now let's get serious.
And then if you can,
if you fail, you're done.
you're done. Yeah.
If you're good, then you.
And you also have to I don't, so here's the thing. I don't want to make it sound like as if like every investor is in conversation with every other one, but I will say that having a bad experience with one could put you on a path where if you have a good experience later with better experience, better startup, better idea, whatever, or not better startup, but like better developed idea, right? Like more better product. It's not going to like hinder you, but like just be wary that like coworkers
But here's
talk,
the thing. Here's
right?
the thing.
Like coworkers talk
Here's the thing. The biggest.
in the same city primarily.
The biggest factor in a startup's success is hard work, but it's a lot of pure luck.
Yeah.
So what happened is that our first investor meeting goes incredibly well. That gets you motivated, and then that sets your expectation. You have a bad investor
It's a
meeting.
thermometer. It tells you
now
what
your
the temperature
expectation
is.
is here, right?
It tells you what the temperature is. I think that we're at -5, and they're like, you're at 2, and then I'm like, sick. You know,
But
like
it's like it's a luck. There's
still a
so
long
much
way to
luck.
go.
So much luck just in general entrepreneurship and launching a product, finding your right niche, finding product market fit, all this stuff that people talk about, right?
Yeah.
A lot of it just comes down to pure
Yeah.
luck. I think that's a good way to wrap it up.
I mean, you earn your luck though.
You
You earn your chances. The reality is that I came out of my last startup and I was nearly confident that I wanted to take a break. I was exhausted.
Yeah.
And when I met Husain, and it just reinvigorated that passion in me that just can't be killed so easily. Do you know?
Yeah.
So-
There are people that systemically cannot get chances, right? In life.
Yes.
Yes.
There are people that get chances, they get opportunity, but they squander that opportunity. And then there are people that get the opportunity, they see it, they take it, they seize the opportunity, and they find success. And there are, in entrepreneurship, that is the person that you want to be. The person that sees the chance, they take it, they exploit it, and then they find incredible success.
Well, I mean, that's not that brilliant. I
Not
think
that brilliant.
No, let me work that back so it's a little bit more brilliant. You want to be the person who sees the opportunity and takes the opportunity like 5 times after getting knocked out down to the
That's
pavement
facts.
like 4 times. You know?
Hey, but I got a good snippet out of that.
Yeah, it could have been a better snippet.
That was
TikTok will love it.
actually Perfect ending.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
Cool.
Thank you guys for having us.
Oh,
Yeah.
before we leave, how can people reach you?
Oh my God.
Canopay.co.
At
CANOPAY.co. Hey!
Hey!
Lovely.
Yeah. All right. Awesome. Cool. Sign
All
up.
right.
Help us out.
But. All right. Thank you guys.